Welcome back to the Turn On Team podcast. My guest today is Ruben Cortez Jr. Thank you for joining us, Ruben.
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. I'm glad you could make it out and hang out with us a little bit. Been wanting to. We've been working together for past couple weeks.
Been a month already. It's almost going on 4 weeks, man. Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. It really been. This is my 4th week here, so.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing lab training, and then we've been building the damn mobile lab, which is
my goodness,
pain in my ass, but we finally got it done.
Don't pull my string on that one, because I hear I'm stressed about this lab. I want this lab to leave. I wanted it to leave 2 weeks ago. That was gonna be just turn it on and okay, this is what you gotta do, this is what you don't gotta do, and then we start running into this and that. And we wanted to rebuilding that thing from the ground up.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I already knew it was going to be, we had to do a lot of work to it. I had no idea it was going to be that extensive, from the power issues to different equipment, different bolts. I mean, we had buckets of bolts. So we pulled out a lot of stuff. We pulled out a lot of new stuff. We went in. But I think it's going to be a good turnaround. I think it's going to be, it's going to shine when it gets out there. It's going to work like it's supposed to. I hope anyway. Because I told them I only warranty it until it leaves the driveway, and then that's it. You got no more warranty.
I mean, we did our best, and we say it all the time, and it sounded funny. I see you laughed today when I said it was setting them up for success. We really are, and I think we did it. We did a jam up job, man. I think when it does leave tomorrow, finally, we're gonna be like, you know what, we did that. Yeah, little accomplishment. You can do that little.
It'll been waiting to finally get the hell out of here and get on the job and start making money. But, I think it's got everything it needs to really get out there and shine. I mean, it's got some good people in there, some very good experienced people. But when he first came in that first Monday, they told, Ruben's going to be there. He knows you. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't remember that guy at all. But apparently, do you remember me from back whenever I was like, what was I? Green as shit, man. I was probably 18, just turned 18.
Yeah. What year was it? What year did you start?
Man, I want to say it was like 2003, 2004.
It was 2004 when I started in January, and I was 18.
And what job was that? Was that high tech somewhere?
My first job was ExxonMobil, Baytown, like Cat 2.
Okay, Cat 2. Yeah. I remember my first
on
one
days.
Cat 3. That's what it was.
Oh, it was probably Cat 3, but Cat 2, Cat 3, whichever one that's closer to 330.
Yeah.
Not the one that's inside the plant, but that's how I remember. I'll never forget because you see the bridge right off the top of the structure. When you get out there and you look down, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's definitely Cat 3.
Yeah.
That's the closest one. And then my question was, where the hell was, it's either 2 or 1 that was missing.
One was missing.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I never knew, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I was out there. I mean, they said, grab a chipping gun and a respirator. Well, I went after it.
I didn't even know how to put on a harness. I looked at that thing and I think I had the legs on my shoulders. That's how, and I was trying to get inside the top piece. I literally didn't know, nothing. Going from, the schoolhouse to the computer, they're like, you can do the computer, you can pass the basic plugs. Like, what is that? You sit there 8 hours in the first hour, yeah, this is school. It's boring, But yeah, man, I remember back in the day when you started, I think you just disappeared, and then we started seeing your name everywhere. We're like, what's he doing? Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay. So he's just doing something in some shop, or we thought you were in a lab, in an office, a building, you know what I mean? Literally.
Well, that's what a lot of people think. That's what I thought when I first started.
Yeah, you
read the word. I thought I was going to see white lab coats and beakers, glass beakers and shit. And when I came in the first time, I started at Jenkins. I walked in there. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? This looks like a shithole, but we're in the middle of a damn warehouse. There's just stuff everywhere. I mean, after a while, I could see what was going on, but that's what everybody thinks. So when they come here, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Lab coats and beakers,
Yeah.
And then when they see the abrasion cabinet, they seen, because I used to have these big, huge glass separatory funnels. I have about this big,
Yeah.
big, and then they were just hanging there. So it's like, man, what the hell are you doing here? Making math? Like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
When they finally seen the lab stuff, they didn't understand. But yeah, it's a very common misconception of what a refractory lab looks like.
Especially being out in the field, going out there and being hands-on, working, being actual hand, coming up from the bottom all the way up to the top, You knew nothing. We just and we never knew the importance of having them samples made out in the field.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think anybody really does. You mount the samples, and they say they're going to a lab, but no one really knows. I've seen footprints. Someone stuck their foot in their boot in there. Mm-hmm. People draw dicks in there, and it's like, man, they really don't think that anybody's looking at this shit. But
because we don't see the report side, right? Because there's obviously a few parts of the inspection side of the other aspect of the world that we actually do with the factory is this, the work being installed, demoed installation, everything in between, wrong materials put in, you got to demo it back out, all that's out in the field on production side. And then you have the inspection side where it's your visual inspection, your hammer test, and then you're like the samples, and everybody like the sample. Now it's like the sample, you got to like really watch the sample, like why? Still to this day, everybody's like, why are they so anal on the them and on the sample? Then you get it here, you walk in here like, oh, that's why they said that. Oh, that's why they being. So that inspector wasn't an asshole the last job we were on. He was actually doing his actual job and sending it over here to Craig. Craig gets this in. So now we're like, oh, now I'm gonna go out and be like, my boy gonna get that over there. So you make sure that goes down right.
That's what. One of the main things is because like the lab doesn't have control over what the hell y'all do out in the field. We don't know, and we don't care, right? We don't control anything that goes on there. But you're in a situation where temperatures are hot, and you got a long way that bucket's going to go a long way, and you're going to have more water in that shit. I mean, you are, but make the damn sample right.
Right.
Set the damn sample.
Yeah. And again, nobody knows that importance, until you're actually here. Hands-on, like when they asked the other day, I think it was like week 2, maybe day 2, have you used this mixer before? And I laughed at them like a whole bar. Yeah, all the time, but not in here, out there.
Yeah.
We got the beaker and
That's completely different.
It's different. It's a whole different ball game. So, but it's a good learning experience and more further, like to be more advanced when you're out in the field.
Yeah. So, you're actually going into inspection. You've already done one job. Was that your first job?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, so, and you came from, running work, QC, what were you doing?
Anywhere from general foreman, regular foreman. The last 10 years, easy. As soon as I get on a job, grab a radio and go run these 10 people, and then general foreman, QC, and overseeing the whole cab from the ground all the way up, up to the top of the bottle of flue gas, the overhead lines, everything. You're talking 80 people, 120 people. It's very different, I have my notebook everywhere I go, and I have 10 people on the 9th floor and 10 people on the 10th floor and 8 people in the, what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Earlier, so when you first started, I was teaching you how to weigh and measure using the dial indicators on how to measure the cubes and different specimens. And you were drawing the picture of how you get a notepad. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, damn, here he goes with his fucking notepad again. But then you pulled it out again today. You showed me your schedule of what you have going on until Sunday. And I'm like, damn, this fucking dude uses a notepad for fucking everything.
Yeah, because it's just.
But that's one of the things that I wanted. So when people come to train here and they want to work in the lab or whatever, I always tell them, man, take notes. I'll teach you, and you can ask questions. And I'll love to answer them because I want to teach you as best I can. But if you're not going to go meet me halfway, right? You're not going to remember, write it down. You're not going to have something to study. There's not really much I can do.
And that's meeting you halfway. Like if you tell me on this day, like, okay, we're going to take this area, this office is going to move to that office. Okay, well, damn, did he tell me this way or that way? Which one we're doing first? Take this one off first? Right now, or take A into B or B into A. And with the same system, like out of the field on production wise, like say cyclones, there's 24 of them, A and B, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. And then you go to B, which is primary, secondary, like, oh, you start make your little, the way I did it, on my own, instead of having the computer up there, you can't think computer in the region, so you're writing everything down. A, B, C, D, so on. Same thing here. Yeah, this is what you got to do here. So on this part of it, I wrote this part down, and another page, I wrote a whole nother part down. On this page, I wrote another part down. So if I do have a question, if I don't have it on my notes, I don't think he told me that. Because he would have told me, I would have wrote it down. So it's a little, like a little backup for me to go back and not have to be that guy, every day asking the same question over and over repeatedly.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that.
Yeah.
I think about the third time, you should have it.
Yeah.
You should have it. That's why I tell them when they first start, like, I don't mind answering questions, but I don't like answering the same question 2,000 times. Because now you're just not paying attention.
Right. Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you wonder how far you can teach them, how far they're actually willing to go.
Right.
3,000 times, you're just having me do the job for you. You're not learning anything.
Mm-hmm.
Show me again. I'll show you until the job's done.
Right.
And now you ain't got to do it,
Yeah.
And so when you came, whipped out that book, and I seen you writing stuff down, I'm like, man, this is what I've been asking for. But then, like, you were aggressive. Like, you wanted to learn, but you wanted to learn everything all on the first day. And I'm like, God damn, man, I asked for it, and I don't know if I want it. Yeah, it's just, it's been great, because that's what I was telling Jackson the other night. I was like, I wish you can keep this guy. I know his pay is up there and all that, but I'll trade you my 2 newbies for fucking Ruben. Just let him stay. Those have been great working together, because I can send you out to the mobile lab and go, these air fittings need to be changed. Straight hose, Chicago fitting, all that stuff already.
Yeah.
When these new guys, they don't know anything. Like,
yeah, what the main thing too, when I first looked, you're like, go hook up the water and hook up this and get it ready. I was like, that's fine. I could hook it up right here. Like, it's like plugging and playing at the house, which is the shop is the house, right? So I could plug it up here, but when I get out there, I gotta have fittings for the refinery. And we need to change it. Like, oh shit. Like it's gotta be at the par for what we're taking it to, not up to here. Like, we can do whatever we want here, Like at home.
Yeah, no, I've been out of the game so long.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And you were really hounding that trailer on safety.
Yeah.
You got to have lockouts over here. You got to have GFIs over here. And I'm going, why? We're going to be in a lay down yard? He's like, no, man, don't matter. You got fire extinguishers. Where's your first aid kit? And I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm talking to my fucking safety man right now. Like,
yeah, damn. All right. I mean, that over the years, a couple of jobs too, man. I remember helping them out on that aspect where ExxonMobil, they hounded them about they weren't supposedly checking their paperwork. They switched me over from the maintenance side, put me on a cat for a whole turnaround for the last 4 weeks just to run from the 6th floor to like the 10th floor. And them guys couldn't go to work unless I put my initial on that paper. I had to literally run down every last hose, wick check, it stays still inside of you if you really learn something. And like you said, I had that drive to want to just learn. I want to learn. I want to know it all, but not know it all. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd be like, oh, I already know what I'm doing. No, not like that. It's just knowing, yeah, it's just knowing, like, that don't look right or that don't sound right. That's not what he told me, or he didn't tell me that. Hold on, let me verify.
Yeah.
And we stop, he paused, and you go back and look or go back and ask. The only dumb question is a question you don't ask. So
That's true. So while you've been training here in the base lab, and then working on them, have you ever seen a mobile lab before?
No, that was the first time.
This is the first.
Yeah, literally the first time.
They're very rare these days because they don't make any sense anymore. Because, I mean, it's timing. If your time management calls for it, then it makes sense. But because you're gonna lose 3 to 5 days on shipping. We don't work the weekends. So if it shows up on a Thursday, there's a good chance we didn't even get to it Friday. Now you got to wait 2 extra days until we even start cutting it. Then you got 3 to 4 days for us to test it.
8 days out now.
Yeah, now you're getting
a week and a half.
It makes sense to have one on site if time management calls for that. But they're very rare. Like I said, I did in 2008. I did the Marathon Garyville, and I did the mobile lab job out there for a year because we did 4 new heaters and then moved on to the CAT. And then we did a couple at Sentinel. We did a couple mobile lab jobs. I didn't do them personally. I stayed with the base lab, but I would say in my almost 18 years now, I've probably heard of a mobile lab going out 6-7 times.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really seem, like we need to invest a whole lot of money into a mobile lab where it's not really going to sell, because you're paying a daily rate or a weekly rate, which I don't know how they're handling that here, but you're paying for your techs to be in there. And nowadays they want 2 or 3, because you got so much, safety, and then you got other issues where they're going, okay, one person's not going to cut it anymore. They can't be in there by themselves or whatever reason. They have
And that happens.
multiple people now. So you have 3, 4 people in these mobile labs, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Once you pay their hourly rate every single day, shipping is so much cheaper.
Well, I mean, again, that's getting up into way up higher management. Like, when you think about it, it might be good. I honestly think it's good, because you're there, you're on site. If they have a question, they could turn around and ask you, hey, we got this, we have that, Then we don't let me call Craig real quick, Give me 30 minutes, let me do my research. And then, you know what I mean? Type deal. We look it up, and we might know the question, the answer. Oh, well, I'll tell you what they're doing wrong,
Yeah.
They're not listening to us on the time.
Right now is we have the 2 people that are going out to this job that you're going to be on. Like Thomas. Thomas has been on the podcast before. He's very knowledgeable when it comes to running the equipment, working with the reports, but he lacks that longevity of experience, if you will, to understand the data sheets and to be able to just pop off water percentages,
right,
mix times, or whatever. If he hung with it, he'd get it, because he's the type of person that he can learn. It's going to take him a little longer than you or I, right? Because he's not as aggressive as we were, but he has the mindset to get it changed. But they only know so much, so they're limited. But then when they get out there, everybody wants to go see this mobile lab that they're paying for, and they're going to ask them questions, and they may not know the API spec or the ASTM spec right offhand. So I mean, I'm a little worried about that. But there's not going to be that many people who could go into a mobile lab that have 10, 15 years experience in just testing refractory. You're not going to have that.
Yeah.
They're very, very good at running the equipment, operating the equipment, but they're not going to be very good at answering questions, because that's not what they've been taught. They've been taught to, run the equipment, maintain the equipment, do the work on the equipment if you need to. Airline blows out, or you got consumables that you need to change out. They know that. But as far as, go, well, what do you think about 12L? I mean, what do you think about, what are you seeing the CC numbers have been in the past couple of years? They don't know that shit.
Right.
And I don't want them to have to answer those questions when there's really no reason. They're just there to do the work.
Right.
So if you really need something like that, or like I said, they asked me today, what are we going to do if we need to do MOR? I'm like, you're not doing that in the mobile lab. That's not what it's made for. You need specialized testing at that point. You're not going to get that from a mobile service.
Right.
You're going to get that at a facility somewhere that's based. And that's where that comes from. Porosity testing, models of rupture, flow tests, set time, all those things that's not what the mobile lab is there to, give you density, permanent linear change, abrasion, resistance, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Whether that's qualified material, we can do that. A lot of mobile labs don't do that. They don't allow any mixing in the trailer. That's how to happen at a base lab somewhere. Ours, you can do that.
You can do that.
And everybody that's going to be in there understands that you can mix the refractory. All the instructions are there.
Right.
They know how to follow a recipe. But these are kind of chefs, right? They're not home cooks. They're chefs.
Yeah, they know.
And we know that certain materials, like we all know the Beast, AR400, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And but if they don't know something, if it's a very specialized piece of or a material, they could go into a book somewhere or on a drive where I've got it posted for plastics, different things. Certain materials don't mix the right way because you're casting a gun grade. It's not going to mix the same way a Hobart as it's going to come out of the end.
And I know that from experience. I mean, we can't just throw this material in there because it says it's this name, is that name, or they're both the same. And no, it's this different material for different everything. We know we understand it over here in the production side, and then we have the inspections hey, you're right, or let's start looking it up. You got to use a certain mixer for certain materials. And, we were talking about the other day at that one job, we're at a high velocity mixer. So you got to get a big nasty one,
Yeah.
You're using a little Mickey Mouse one. What do you mean? We use it all the time. Well, you've been doing it wrong all the time. I'm sorry to tell you, you burst a bubble, but pop, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know. It's exactly the same. So since you've been here, training in the base lab, what was your favorite thing to do?
I mean, a little bit of everything, not just one certain thing. Because, again, it's coming in, let's say, fresh green, and I'm like, man, I'm 21 years in refractory, and you're telling me that this is what I got to do, this, or what I got to do that I got to do this, and then that, we'll put it in the dryer. Okay, then I asked like 2 days in a row. We put it in the dryer, and then we take it out. Then we put it in the kiln, and then we take it out. And then we measure it. Hey, crush this, you do this. Then you just measure this only. And then what do we do with it? Just put it in your pocket. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, no, put it in your pocket for the next 3 days. Okay. So Friday I take it out, then what do I do? Throw it away. Like little shit like that, like bullshit. But no, like the rebuild of it and actually being here to see how it's being built, and actually learning it at the same time. Oh yeah, it's been fun, but very knowledgeable and ready to rock and roll once it gets out there,
So you're eager for that thing.
Yeah, I wanted to be on site just to be like, yeah, we did that and we're doing this,
Yeah.
and I don't just want this one. I want the next 2 or 3, wherever it goes, let's say it goes to somewhere and coming up fall season and we take it out somewhere with us. And like, I'm pretty sure more than likely I'll be on that one shift. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm just like getting eager, I have that little drive where I want a little bit more, like let's get this thing over there already. When we don't even know when it's going, when I'm going, we ran into that little problem the other day too, like it's supposed to leave Friday and I was leaving tomorrow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the schedule has been insane. So we have 30 days, right? A little less than 30 days now that's leaving early.
Yeah.
We had 30 days to get it ready. And my only instructions were to make sure it works, handle it, get it done, the normal shit that we always get. But with the base lab and the mobile lab, and you've seen that it's just been everywhere. I've been running around with my fucking head cut off.
Yeah.
And so once it gets there, I hope that it runs beautifully. I mean, I really do. Because, I mean, like I said, something bad was going to happen. Because you got timing on the abrasion cabinets, you got the calibration on there, you got, there's so many things that each one of those could take up to 15 to 20 different tries to get it right there. And all of them happen the first time. And I'm going, there's no way.
Yeah.
And 18 years, I've never done it that fast.
I mean, that just goes to show, man, after all that time, you say the 18 years, it could have took that long. You probably could have got it maybe 5 years ago. Just missed that one little step or that one little button or whatever it is, one little number you forgot to put in, whatever the case is on the calibration side, which I, get into that. It's a whole other aspect too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just hard work pays off, man. It really does. I mean, you give yourself a little pat on the back and that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow when it finally leaves, we still got to get it out of here and get it on the road. And once see it drive off, and they're going to be like, man, we did that, like, whew, yeah, exactly. You're really going to feel that just, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, getting it.
That's like, to me, it's like we're going to blow 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, finally done. Finally fucking done. Just getting it out of here because our little parking lot is so small. That's a 30-foot gooseneck.
Yeah.
Getting it out of here is going to be a pain in the ass. But you're right. It's going to go on its main voyage.
Look good though, man. It's like that. You could drive a forklift with my eyes open or closed. When you ask, can you weld? With my eyes open or closed. Bullshit, little things.
Yeah, you said with your eyes open or closed, but I was like, I'm a forklift operator. You go, no. You could drive a forklift, but you are not an operator.
Yeah, you're not being an operator right now. Anybody can drive it up and down the road or around the corner, but can you operate it? You're out on that one. Yeah. It's the same. There's a bunch of sayings for a lot of different things that we do. Driving a forklift, gun operator, Are you an inspector? Or are you an inspection? Are you into inspection or are you an inspector? You know, like there's a difference. There really is. You know, a lot of guys just go there and be like, yeah, this is me. You know, okay, what? Can you do that? You know what you're doing? You know what you're looking at? You know, some guys know what they're looking at. Some guys don't know what they're looking at. And you try to correct them. Like, you can't correct me because I'm an inspector. No, let's get somebody else involved. Let's all talk about this. You know, call your boss. We'll call your boss. Like, no, you got to call my boss to see what I know how to do. I know what I'm doing. That's why I work here. You know, verify everything you do.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I tell my new guys, because they're like, they made a mistake over here, and it's like, well, you can come back from that. But the number one thing you have to do is cover your ass.
Yeah,
you have to cover your ass because everybody's out to get you. That's what it seems like anyway. It's like, oh, well, we have an issue over here. We'll just blame the fucking lab. You know, it's like, why are we blaming us? Like, you didn't do what you needed to do. You got here late, and that's what I was saying. Like, when we first started 8 years ago, I could test one sample and take 2 weeks, and nobody had a problem with that. Now everything's a damn hot job. Everything is hot. So I need it right now. Results. So like,
yeah, it's just
it
like
can only go so fast.
when we're out of the plants, you know. That's why when I brought up everything about the safety, I was like, man, you gotta hook me up with fittings for this, and you know, GFCI, first aid kit, the fire extinguisher, the color code on the cords. Yeah, that was another one that I brought up. You know, all those things, everything we go through on a daily basis. So we go to these big ass lunch tip meetings before shift starts. Everything's all about safety. Take your time, and as soon as we get out of that lunch tip and go out in the field, hurry up. Well, you just told me to take my time, right? What do you mean? That's like, you know, like
that's a take your time, hurt the fuck up kind of.
yeah, you know, it's just what they tell you, you know, secretly speaking, you know, yeah, don't get hurt, just hurt for love. Don't get hurt, you know, like how do you do that?
Come on.
Yeah, come on, you know.
So in this job, you're going to be working with Jason Overstreet.
Jason
Overstreet. Now I got to give him a shout out. Yeah, no, he told me. I mentioned this. So the original point of this podcast was supposed to be for TSG marketing, right? That's what we're supposed to do with it,
right?
And then it just kind of fell where it was, and I just like, okay, I'll just do it myself. And he's like, oh, a podcast, huh? That'll never happen. You'll never make it. And so now I just want to go, okay, just for him, just one line, man, motherfucker, I made it, I did it.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward. And not looking forward to go there with Jason for like, let's say 5 weeks minimum. 5 weeks, we'll be there about 3 months.
Okay.
And then on nights, oh man, it'll be fun. He's a good guy, man. That job I went to, the last one, he did pretty good.
Yeah, they'll be together, man. It was last time I seen him was at our Christmas party last year, and his wife, I don't know if he helped her at all, but his wife had made this amaretto. I think that's what it's called.
Amaretto sour?
I don't know. I don't think it was sour, but it was fucking amazing. Whatever it was. That shit was good. We're putting that shit in everything, and fucking like brownies and everything we could think of to cook with it. We're making drinks with it too. I mean, she gave us like a little pint. She gave everybody one. Right?
Yeah.
They made a little Christmas gift for everybody. That was the best shit in the world, man. That shit was fucking good. Yeah.
I'm about to bring that up to him. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit over there, man. He's a good guy though, man. I can't wait to get out there, man. There's supposed to be, what is it, 5 and 5 of us going over there? On 5 on days, 5 on nights. I just want to see how this lab's going on, honestly. And then help run the CAT on the inspection side. And that's all I grew up doing, you know?
Yeah.
Chipping the rider lines, running anger off.
I mean, all the guys that are there with you. Because you said you had, you know, it's you, Jason Overstreet. I don't know the rest of them. I know that Thomas and Aaron are being in the lab.
Right.
But yeah, everybody that they have here are good people.
Oh,
they're good people. Fucking Jacob. God, yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, Jacob's
Larry, he's hyper vigilant.
Yeah.
Like I said, he was calling you and he's like, oh man. I mean, we made a joke of it, but he was looking out and made sure everybody had somewhere to stay. Everybody had a room. But he's calling you up. He's like, oh man, I got all these rooms. I got all this stuff. I was like, oh man, what? And you're like, well, what if I don't want to stay there?
Yeah.
Well, no, I said, here I work.
He's lead on days.
Yeah.
And we follow right now. You lead on days, but you're not lead on our bad job. Like that, like telling me, come on, you got to sleep right here. You're not like, hold on. It's like, man camp. That's what you know, you got
man camp.
No, that's good looking out, so man. That's good looking out. That's good looking out.
No, it was. It really
Convenient
was.
for us when we get there. We've got somewhere to go, you know, travel out. Still don't know when. Sheesh. You're going on the 10, you're going on the 9, you're going on the 7, you're going on the 1st, you're going on the 2nd. When I tell Jackson, you know what, I got an idea. I'll tell you what, I'll go on the 15th when I'm getting ready to go. No, you go with the mobile lab goes. So the mobile lab leaving tomorrow, you're going to tell me I start on Sunday. He better not tell me that. You know, it changed every day. I see that. That's, and it's part of a factory, man. This business in this industry, it does change every day. You know, they put you on a 410s and then 2 weeks later you're on 510s. The following week you're working 713s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been like that since day one. And I see that over here on this side too. It's not that it's not structural or nothing. It's just part of the business. This is around the clock. This business is around the clock. That's why I see it rare. Like I tripped out when I first got here and I was like, I don't know what to do. 8 to 4:30.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, you're on the dirt now, dude.
At 5 o'clock in the morning like an old ass man and shit, just sitting there for 3 hours, 2 hours. You know, I'm 30 minutes, 20 minutes away. I'm just twirling my minutes and like too much time. And then I'm getting up at 4:30 and I'm like, I never get out when the sun is out. What the hell? These were sun down, sun up. You know, like don't see no sun. 7 to 7, 5 to 7. You know. I remember one time I told one of my older uncles, I said, "Yeah, man, uncle, I'm working 5 to 7 and 14-hour shifts." He goes, 5 to 7, that's only 2 hours, you idiot. I was like, no, 5 in the morning to 7 at night. You know, that's what we're used to, bro. We used to long hours. Working right here is just like, now I'm used to it. I gotta go over there. It's like, see you at nighttime.
It's like throwing a monkey wrench in your shit because you just got used to, like I said, the gravy train. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I heard you talking to the newbies the other day. He's like, man, you guys got it made. Because that one guy was like, man, a chip in for how much an hour? I gave him a ribbon buster. I brought it over to him. And he's like, I would not do that. Right. And he was like, man, you told me, man, you guys on a fucking gravy train. You don't even understand how good you
got it on him.
And then you started explaining it to him a little bit more. He's like, really? But the other guy was like, $25 an hour? Sign me up right now. You know? You could tell who the brain is, and then you could tell who Ron is.
Right.
And that's kind of what I noticed it from the very beginning. Because one of them likes to be on the computer, writing reports, you know, dialing all the measurements. The other guy likes to be on the brick saw, likes to do the mixing, likes to make the molds. He's the workhorse. Yeah, he's the brawn.
You got a workhorse. Yeah.
So he's the body and the other guy's the brain.
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And they work great together.
And a lot of times you need that little team, that little duo, you know, little dynamic duo. You know, there's a lot of guys out in the industry, Mouseman and a gun runner. They go hand in hand. You can't be swapping them out, you know, different contractors. You see it all the time, you know, if he's shooting gun at, you know who's going to be on the gun. You know, if they're welded, you know who's going behind in front of him and doing a layout. They just work hand in hand together, you know. Like, I was surprised you don't have a little right hand man, you know, like just constantly behind you. Like if you're like, hey, here goes this report, here's that, you know, here goes that, and he's pushing it out for you, you know. Very surprised, but you do both. It's like civilizer and a GF. They go hand in hand. They're never inseparable. They might be opposite shift for 1 or 2 jobs, but they're hand in hand, you know?
Yeah. So because you're starting the second job and you've been in the industry all of your life, I guess, huh?
No,
most of your life.
Since I was 18.
So now as you're coming into it, is there anything you like to see change, or is there anything that you're looking forward to changing in the industry?
On that part, honestly, it's craftsmanship, bro. You know,
or the lack thereof.
There's a lack of it, and there's a lot of because I have a lot of, you know, the big family, and a lot of them want, let me go work with you, Unc. Let me go work with you, cause you know you make good money, and you think we make good money? We're busting our ass. Come try it out. Go get your basic plus, and I'm gonna send you over here to this office and go there. Here, and then when you get there, I'm gonna put this big ass thing in your hand. Like, how you do this? This what you've been doing the whole time you're out of town? Yeah. fucking chipping our ass off, getting this money. You know what I'm saying? You think it's gravy, and it ain't gravy. You're always looking gravy, thick as fuck. You know, like there's no water in this gravy. You know, it's just straight, just dry mud. You gotta get it, man. So craftsmanship, bro. I mean, like showing people the right way and not the wrong way. You know, always showing the next person, helping the next person out. Hey, look, I'm just telling you, try it like this. Let me know what you think, and walk away. And they try it, they're gonna be like, hey, you know, you did good. You showed me that. Hey, it worked out better for me. And see, yeah, they're gonna remember you for that one time. You showed them that one time. Well, let's just tell you, hey, yeah, let's go here and jump off this bridge. That crazy motherfucker wants to jump off the bridge. No, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's walk this straight little line, but go around and do this little curve, and it's gonna help you out. You know? They're like, oh yeah, you're right. It showed, you know, craftsmen is showing the new generation coming up, because a lot of the old school people, man, they're already out the game, you know?
That's one of the biggest things that I'm seeing right now is that, you know, the old schools are leaving, the new generation is coming in. They're not very good. They're not very good. And they don't take direction very well.
No.
You know, they get a bad test report and they'll go, well, what happened? What do you mean, what happened? I don't know. I didn't make that shit. Y'all made that shit. All I did was test it. I can tell you that, let's Thermbond 12L, you over liquefied it. Well, how do you know that? Because you were using base water weight, right? Well, yeah. Well, you can't use that. It has a different specific gravity than water. So the activator is actually heavier than water is. So you have to use a different ratio, right? So the formula activator is 11.2 pounds per gallon versus your 8.34 for water. So it's heavier, so you're going to use less. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing 15 pounds, right, at 7.6%, and you're using water weight, you're over liquefying the entire mix by 120 milliliters. That's going to take you from your, say it's supposed to be less than 3, so normally it's about 2.6, and then now you're at 3.2, 3.4, and you want to know what happened, you added too much activator to it. And that's what, and they don't like to hear that.
Yeah, because they know they did, and then you caught them. You know, it's like,
well, it's not really catching them.
It's like getting caught with your pants down. You know,
I'm just trying to educate.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You guys do the right thing, show them the right way, and the right way is the right way. And a lot of the time, I'm telling you, you just hold my before, yeah, like this. You know, now there's a certain little way that you use it. But you think everybody is gonna do like they do in the lab?
Oh no,
they're gonna weigh out material per material.
No.
You know, batch out.
Well, I understand.
Per bag. Oh, they just know that the bag's 55 pounds. And your forklift driver that's not an operator, about 10 holes in them fucking bags. You see what I'm saying? It all goes back to the same old shit right back down the line. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, that's another thing. We grew up with the rough asses of rough, you know, like the rough ones, you know? Old Ron Nelson and all them guys over there at High-Tech. There was no, you know, they get a chipping going, get up there, you know, weeks, months at a time, chipping our hands off, but it made who we are, you know? That little drive that we have, you know, as far as me and you coming up. So, but everybody's important. The new guy, the safety guy, who's this guy, there goes that guy, you know? Don't be that guy, go, hey, put your glasses on. We know already that put our glasses on, you know, like, everybody's important. The project manager, the general foreman, the supervisor, the inspectors on the job are there for a reason. You're a helper, you're a forklift operator, now you're a forklift driver, because if he's poking bags in the material, that's no longer 55 pounds. Yeah. So who does that mess up? Yeah, the guy's throwing the Armax or the Thermbond or the double A up there in the cyclones. You know, it goes back down to everybody. It trickles down. And if everybody really took a little bit of pride in what they do, even if it is driving a forklift, everything would be more better off. Everything all the way around, you know? And if you're out there showing them guys, and even if it's coaching, training, reassuring them, hey, you did have a badass lift. Or, you know, you did good bringing that up here, you know? Y'all worked together and y'all brought that material up here, whether it's the elevator. And that just comes on a production side. Now over here, it's a whole different aspect. You see everything different. Now you see it from the outside in. You know what I mean? Or the inside out. Both ways. It goes both ways. It's not just, oh, I'm just the inspector. I'm here to just buy stuff off and tell you yes or no. You're actually looking and you're seeing like, oh, that's what them guys been going wrong all the time. That's why that came out like that. That's why we had that problem on that one job from back in 2015. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we had that many issues because of this. Now you know. So what do you go from what you know? You show them. Show the next guy. Show the next dude. Show the next whoever's coming up. This is how you do it, man. If you take this with you and you run with it, you're going to be a bad motherfucker one day. Just not today. Yeah. Tomorrow don't look so good either, huh? But take this and keep running with it. You'll be a bad motherfucker. Just not today.
Well, I'm very excited to that you're a part of the inspection side now, and I look forward to what you bring, to the industry and anything that you might want to bring up a change and definitely we'll have to, once your jobs are over, definitely come back and we'll have to podcast again.
Yeah, that'd be nice, man. That'd be nice to be like, look, here's the experience. This is just the new, like we say the new generation coming in. We've been in the business 21 years. There's still so much room to learn and grow and take in from you being the lab rat of refractory. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna look at you like that. You know what I'm saying? You take that. You say, hell yeah, that's what I do. Motherfucker call me and tell me
I'm the best. That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I am. Lab rat.
You're the fucking lab guru of, refractory here in the United States. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot better than
that lab guru,
I think the lab czar. I like that better.
Yeah, whatever it is, however you want to put it, but just label it and brand it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
take pride in it. You know what I'm saying? We could always refer back to you for whatever it is. Jackson on the inspection side, dude, kick ass, dude. I'm surprised, it was an honor for him to call and have them offer this,
Oh, yeah.
That's why I take pride in what I do. I'm run and go.
See what we thought if you weren't.
They told me you'd be a badass one day. And it wasn't that day, but it was today. I finally made that day, I can say that. So, but yeah, man, I'll come back, man. Let's run a couple more.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's have this mobile lab. Well, we gotta go. I gotta speak on this experience, even if all nights it's not really gonna be involved in there still, but I'll still be able to, go back and check it out. Check it out. Von Dorans, do what they're doing. Oh yeah, I see what they're doing. Oh yeah, they're doing good, and I ain't doing too good. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Hey, get on their ass. Type shit. Let's just help each other out, everybody all the way around.
It was definitely a great time.
Yeah.
Today podcasting with you, and it's been great. Last couple of weeks working with you, so I definitely want to do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again, bro.
All right. Well, I wish you luck on the jobs coming up, and
thanks. I really don't need much luck. We got. You gotta be here. You gotta come out there like that.
All right, man.
But I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me out.
Yeah, anytime. Definitely come back.
I sure will.
All right.
All right.